Good morning. Good afternoon. Welcome to today's community briefing. My name is Gregory Sneed, and we're glad you are here. Our guest today is Lily Otieno, and she's with the Southern California Gas Company. So we expect this segment to be very energized, I should say that. um, my company name is Lifesaver Financial Services. I help my clients keep more of the money that they make, and I do that through life insurance solutions, financial coaching, and financial literacy training, because I firmly believe that when you feel better about your money, you feel better about your life. And we have a few more days left. So I think this may be the last community briefing that I referred to Crystal as the Egyptian Queen, having recently traveled to Egypt. So please welcome to the virtual stage our Egyptian queen, Miss Crystal Mitchell.
Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you. Yeah, in November, you'll be calling me the South African Queen because that's where I'm going then. So when I get back for December, for the month of December, you'll be calling me that South African Queen. Welcome, everyone, to the community briefing. I am Crystal Mitchell. I am the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars, as well as Stephen indicated, the founder and I guess the inspiration behind the community briefing. The purpose for the community briefing is to make sure that we have a platform where we're hearing from our leaders and stakeholders that are making things happen in our community, and we are getting firsthand information, not the after fact stuff, but so we can make better decisions for our community, for our businesses, for ourselves. And so we have a great team here. Mr. Stephen Turner, he's our producer. Mr. Greg Sneed, he's the MC. Myself and Miss Robin Billups, who on Thursday has a treatment, so eventually she'll be back to us. She's doing very well, though. Keep sending your prayers and blessings for her. This platform is powered and sponsored by Recycling Black Dollars and the Black Business Association, the BBA, as well as financially sponsored by Southern California Edison, SoCalGas, and as well as Wells Fargo. And we are always looking for more to keep the program on the air and to enhance it. Oh, look at that. Miss Robbins coming in. And keep it. So this is a networking platform, so please reach out and support each other. We as Black people have to really connect with one another to make sure that we're getting what we need. We can no longer depend on other people, as you guys can see in the last couple of weeks that's been happening and still going on at LA City Council. And so if we're not taking care of ourselves, then we are really in trouble. So this platform was created just for that, so that we have a media outlet that we can come and convene and speak about things that are important to us. So we're so happy to have Lily. I'm so happy to meet her. And we got some hitters, Miss Patricia Click and Patricia Watts, and Robin just came in. So welcome. We're going to have a great program today. Please put your comments and information and questions in the chat, and we will get to them. Greg will get to them at a point in the presentation. So with that, I am turning it back over to Greg. Happy Halloween to everyone.
Happy Halloween to you too. So our guest today, and Lily, hopefully you'll correct me on the correct pronunciation of your name. I try to strive for that. Is Otieno?
Otieno, yes.
Otieno, okay.
Right.
All right. So our guest today, Lily Otieno, is Director of Supply Chain and Diverse Business Enterprise at Southern California Gas, also known as SoCalGas. And she, in her role, she's responsible for supply chain strategy, contracting and procurement of services, products, and supplier diversity. And that is her background. She has 25 years of international management experience across multiple industries, including utilities, banking, construction, IT, universities, healthcare, and nonprofit. I think that about covers it, right? You got business, you got utility, you got university, education, healthcare, nonprofit. What's missing? I guess the government, right? So you didn't the governmental thing would be there. So she's been in her current position for about a year and 5 months. She has been with the gas company for a few years, about 3 years, it looks like. Before that, she was with Infinity Business Solutions, and she was the CEO. She was there for 16 years. Actually, still there. That's part of her business. Sempra Energy, Jacobs Engineering. I've heard of them. She was also at Southern California Gas previously, back from 2012 to 2015, and Social BNI. She was with the Boys and Girls Club of Buena Park. She worked on federal commercial contracts back in 2008, 2011. Business Network International, LA Care Health Plan, and she also worked for, I think, her university. She went to, let's see here, Cal State University Fullerton, Masters of Science in Policy and Planning, and Edgerton University, which is in Kenya. I think they're having some challenges of late. They are very strong university in Kenya. Kenya specializes in education, but I think they ran into some financial difficulties, if I recall.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens there. But without further delay, please welcome to our virtual stage, Miss Lily Otieno.
All right, Greg, thank you so much. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. Thank you, Stephen, for the invitation. Thank you, Crystal, for doing the work of the community, because we all need to be working closely together. Like you've seen in the recent past, we also need to be supporting each other by providing information that really helps us move towards the economic development and towards economic success. So with the introduction, you had my my role at SOCALGas. I've held different positions. My journey, Greg, you said about my journey. I came into this country actually to go to school to get my master's degree. So when I got here, I went directly to Cal State Fullerton. I was studying a master's in environmental science. Quickly assimilated in the country and got a job out of college as an environmental impact assessment assessor. So sitting down on the freeway, counting vehicles, at a traffic control job. So I had to do all that work. And as I was doing that work, it really didn't feel fulfilling for me. It wasn't what I really wanted to do. Knowing that I really loved the environment, I loved the sustainability, I loved working with people, I went back to my manager and I said, is there any other job I can do? I really don't like what I'm doing today. And that's one of the things that I always want to impress upon. Sometimes we're afraid to ask. Sometimes you're afraid to just say your honest truth. I just told I don't like what I'm doing. And she immediately said, maybe you should work within our project management office. Maybe you should do something different. And that's when I started learning and understanding what I really was good at, and was working in project environment, understanding the scope, understanding the finance, understanding how to work with multiple stakeholders, and really enjoyed that. And so my trajectory from that went into project management, went into working on large scale projects, either at a federal level or local level, and then coming in to work with SOCALGas. I also started my own consulting business at that point and was able to create consulting business around training for diverse companies. We started a training called Mastering Business Growth, and it was pretty much for SOCALGas and SDG&E, and expanded after that. And we're training on what we need to do to master business development and business growth in a corporate environment and also in the federal space. So worked very closely with Beverly Kuykendall, whom most of you know, on the federal side, and then started pushing forward on the corporate side and understanding what does it take to do business with the major corporations. And why is that the corporations have these goals that they really never are able to achieve? So that was really the impetus of starting that training program to understand, to be able to connect businesses with with corporations so that they can be able to do business. Fast forward, I was connected with Jacobs Engineering, and Jacobs at that time was pursuing a job with SoCalGas, which was the largest capital program called the Pipeline Safety Enhancement Plan. And as a partner to Jacobs, as a consulting partner, we were able to win that job. And once we won the job, that's how I started working very closely with SoCalGas, their project management office, and then finally got an opportunity to work directly for SoCalGas. But in my journey, there's so many stops, so many pieces that are critical to any business owner that's working today or who would like to do business with corporations like SoCalGas. Let me go back and just tell you about my role today and what we're doing at SoCalGas. So in 2021, we hired about 577 diverse businesses out of a total of 2,700 businesses who were our prime. 320 of those were our prime suppliers. We spent about almost $1 billion, $987 million with diverse suppliers. That's a lot of money. That's almost $1 billion that we're spending with about 522 businesses. So think about what opportunity we have. So as a company, our CEO, Scott Drury, gave us a goal of 45% by 2025 spent with diverse companies. That is a big goal. In looking at our procurement, we spent this year roughly approximately $2.4 billion in procurement. And if we're going to spend 45% of that with diverse suppliers, there's a lot of work that we're doing at SoCalGas to get us there. So we are working very, very hard to be able to bring on new suppliers that are African American, Native American, and LGBT companies. So last year, just as a frame of mind, we had only about 105 diverse farms, new diverse farms that we brought in. So we still have a lot of runway to bring in more diverse suppliers. Some of the issues and difficulty for working with a company like SoCalGas is basically understanding their procurement process. How do they buy? How do they spend their money? Where do they spend their money? For SoCalGas, we have CPUC as the organization that oversees our company. So everything we do, everything we're going to procure, we file with the CPUC every 3 to 4 years. So one of the first things that I always tell suppliers is you have to download that document. It's a public document. You can read and you can understand every single thing we're going to procure in the next 3 to 5 years in that document. So learning that, looking where your business can add value for SoCalGas is critical. A lot of the companies we have sometimes may not be able to get the insurance requirements that we have. For example, we require $100 million of insurance for any of our pipeline construction contractors. But that's not all the business we do at SoCalGas. We have a lot of ancillary business that we do that support that major business. So if I go around this virtual room today, I will find at least every single person has a way of doing business with SoCalGas. But the way you really need to understand that is to work the system, understand where do I start? Who do I go to talk to? Where do I present my capabilities? Who should know about my business? And that is something that my team, the diverse business enterprise team, that is one of their one goal that they have to accomplish. So they go out in the community, they meet business owners, and they need to bring you on. If you can't come in that way, there are several other ways that you can come in. You can come in as a sub with some of the prime vendors that we use, or you can come in also direct. And there are different ways to get into the business. We also have pilot programs where we pilot businesses outside of an RFP process, which is the request for proposal. We actually have pilot opportunities. We have opportunities where we don't bid. We have we have several people who have business cards and they can do business with you without going to bid. So there are different procurement methodologies. It just depends on where your business is and how you can start working with us. I have several people here I can see that are already doing business with SoCalGas. I see Bianca on the phone. I see Pat Watts on the phone. There are several people who are doing business already with SoCalGas. So you can also just have a relationship with the people who are already doing business and say, how can I support you? What do you need in delivery of that service to SoCalGas that I can be able to support you as well? So there are several areas that you can work with us in terms of how do I get in. Secondly, think about your business as something we need. All of us at SoCalGas live in your community. We buy and deliver the same services. So think about that ecosystem and where do I come in? Where do I get in? And what do I offer? So if I went around the room and asked every single person here what your business offers, I'm sure I can be able to find a way for, know that we buy that product and service at SoCalGas. So what we want to do is make sure everybody knows about what we are buying, because we're looking specifically for African Americans. So we have a goal to increase the number of African American companies that we work for. It's a specific goal that the company gave us, or the company has. It's a specific business objective. We have to do business with about 71 African American owned businesses for a total procurement of about a minimum 120 million. And as of right now, we're not meeting that goal, right? So we need to work together as a community to find what is it that we have, the opportunities that we have. If you have a business, how do you come back and sell through BBA, or the organizations that can help you, and we can come in and talk about some of the opportunities we have. So for this podcast, just briefly what we're looking for, right? We have, of course, construction is our biggest procurement area, so pipeline construction. But in pipeline construction, there's several other auxiliary services that are needed. Yeah, my favorite one is always talking about parties, water service, catering, fencing, materials, cleaning. There's so much that goes on when that pipeline is put on the ground, that if you look at your business, you may be able to support us. There is document services that are needed. There's the X-ray machines that are needed. There's water that is needed. So there's so much that goes into those projects. It's just an ability to understand and figure out where my business is. We have consulting, we have training, we have support in areas of software development, technology. We hire people, so we hire project managers, we hire accounting people, we hire administrative support. We have a lot of opportunities for hiring people to support us to achieve our business objectives. So it's just finding out from your perspective, how do you get in? How are you able to do business with SoCalGas? So it's just asking the question, finding the people that already have doing business with SoCalGas, finding the company employees that their jobs require to provide information. I am in that same team, so I'm here to, if you have any questions specifically for me, I'll be able to answer those, and I'll be able to report to help you navigate that. The second thing that I wanted to talk about was for nonprofits, community giving. The company is really focused on working with our community. We're focused on continuing to build that relationship with the community. We all know our strength is based on the communities that we live in. So we have a lot of opportunity for grants, for community giving, and some of them, they're focused on 3 areas. Any community organization that will help advance SoCalGas mission and help us achieve our business objectives. We also look at an organization that will meet the community needs, and also organizations that help close inequalities that we see in our communities. We give our time, energy, and financial investments to improve the life of people in our communities. So we are trying to do the right thing and truly wanting to make a difference. In 2021, together with our Sempra Foundation team, SoCalGas employees raised nearly $2 million or spent over 1,500 with charitable organizations, and logged close to about 15,000 volunteer hours. So we do a lot in the community. We have a goal from our Sempra Foundation to be able to invest about $50 million in our diverse communities, including education and workforce investment. So we have a lot going on in the company that is geared towards improving our community, supporting all the causes that are near and dear to our heart. For example, we support STEM education, right? We support STEM education programs. We provide scholarships to our youth in the underserved communities. We partner with a lot of workforce training programs. We're looking to hire people. So we do partner with, for example, we partner with the Urban League Construction Career Academy. And so far, we've hired 10 people from that academy. So we are doing a lot in working together to be able to support us and to bring people into our community. I was over the weekend, I think it was the other weekend, we had the Taste of Soul, right? And we had a hiring team out there asking for people who are interested in working for SOCALGas. And it was interesting to see as you saw people coming in, and they were kind of afraid of approaching the hiring table. And I got to talk to one of the people that was passing through, and I asked her, why are you apprehensive? Why you feel like you cannot work for SOCALGas? She said, oh, you know what? I've tried before, and I wasn't able to pass the interview process. And that's one of the things we do. We as a team will help. We have to help each other to pass those interviews. We need to help each other to be able to pass the hurdle of employment. And so we don't have a lot of people who look like us working in several areas. So we want to encourage our teams and any organization, especially go through the Urban League program. We help them with taking the test. We help prepare them for the test. We help prepare them their resumes. We help prepare them for the interviews. So let's work together to be able to improve the number of people that we hire. We also hire interns. We offer scholarships. So we're doing, and we leverage a lot of the partnerships that we have in the community to get the word out. So we also now have employee resource groups that help us. We have VIVE, Voices Inspiring Black Employees, as another resource group that we have to tell our story, to start bringing people and supporting the community that we serve. So as a company, we're really doing a lot to invest in our community, to have the coalition, the partnership, to start being able to let you know where the opportunities are so we can be able to support and bring more investments into our community, whether it is via business or via hiring or workforce. So a lot there. So we also want you to go to our website, right? Go to SOCALGas.com, look at what we're investing in, look at some of the opportunities that we have there, so you can be able to get engaged and be part of a broader family. Yeah, there it is. So I'm glad that you're showing the website right now. So there's a lot on our website that you can go to. Our community is one of them at the very top corner. Areas of giving, you can see what we're doing in that regard. You can see how we're investing our dollars. You can also go to the career site and see that as well, and see opportunities that we have. So there's a lot that we're doing as a community.
Where's the careers?
You have to.
I'm back to the homepage here.
The homepage, go all the way down. I believe the careers are at the very bottom.
There it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And don't be afraid to share this with your neighbors, friends, and people that may have an opportunity. One thing that I talk about is a lot of the times we are afraid to apply for a job if we don't check all the bullet points, all the boxes in that job description. Don't be afraid, because not everybody has everything that you need in one particular job. So you have to think about what relatable experience you have, what you can bring. I'll give you one quick story about a lady that I was hiring, that she had been in the work environment for several years, and then she decided to stay at home. So coming back to the workforce was a little bit of a challenge for her until we started discussing the fact that, hey, you are scheduling kids' activities, you are managing the financials. We start going around all the things that she did as a stay-at-home mom. And finally, she realized, yes, I have all the experience that I need. It's in a different, so quote unquote, industry, but I do have that experience. And so it's a matter of having conversations and relating your experience to be able to find a job. Yeah, who in my team will support these efforts? So we have our diverse business enterprise team. We have Joe Chow, who is the manager for the DBE. We have Vaughn Williams. We have Ann Mushiri. We have Jay Ju, who are all our DBE project team that have specifically helped with the diverse businesses. But we also do have on the career side, on the employment side, we do have our career site. But if you have any particular questions, we can link you with our ERG, Employee Resource Group, which is the African American Employee Resource Group, that can also be able to help you in navigating how to get jobs at SoCalGas as well.
Is that this one here?
That right, the VIB. VIB. But you can go to anyone, right? For veterans, we have VALA, any one of these, and then we have RICE for women, CAPE for Asian Americans, and IGENTE for Hispanic or Latino resource group. But any one of these resource groups is not just about that organization or that ethnicity. We have allies, and we can work together for all the benefit of the entire community.
Are specific jobs posted, or do you have to apply? Where I noticed the careers section seemed to be more generic.
Specific jobs posted.
Career openings. Here we go. This right here.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Does Southern California Gas participate in the ramp? That's the city of Los Angeles has a sort of a group for procurement. I think it's the regional something. I forget what ramp stands for.
I'm not particularly sure because I don't know if we partner with them in that way, but maybe somebody else at SoCalGas, maybe it's our public affairs our community team that partners with them. For us and our supply chain organization, no, not that I'm aware of, but we do have partnerships with the city of Los Angeles. We do have partnerships with the county. We have partnerships with almost all the cities in our service territory.
Robin?
Good day, everyone. I just wanted to ask Lily to talk about her journey. In particular, when I met Lily, I was the board chair for WeBank West. The Benadryl is starting to kick in, you guys. And so that's why I'm talking so slow. But I wanted Lily to also talk about her journey as far as when I met her in 2000, whatever it was, to see the trajectory of the work, the commitment that she put in order to be where she is right now. And I can vouch for the fact that this woman is committed to community, committed to African Americans, committed to women. She's committed to the plethora of humanity in order to help meet the goals of Southern California Gas. So Lily, can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure, Robin. And I do want to say that there are several things, people in your journey that you meet that you're forever connected to. And one of them is definitely Robin Billups. I was a consultant, like I said earlier. I owned my own business. So I'm walking the aisle, so to speak, to be able to get contracts, to get opportunities. And when I was part of WeBank, that's when I realized that we needed a little bit more hand-holding to walk us through the gate. So for procurement. And it's not easy if you've never been able to work with a major company it's a little bit intimidating, and partnership with Robin or Webeck West, and finally just telling you everything that I've done. And I see Emma Maxey on the phone, some of the people who helped me through with my journey in helping, giving me that opportunity. It's really everyone in your journey that's important. I can go around this virtual room and tell you how many people have helped me along the way, given me a word of advice, introduced me to the right people. I worked with Emma and the California Water Association many years ago. I worked with Robin. I've worked with Bianca. I've worked with Denise. I've worked with Pat Watts and Patricia Click. I don't know if you remember me, but we also did a lot of sharing and support at one time in my career journey. But what that means is everywhere you go, there is your destiny helper. Somebody is going to be there to give you that one word of advice. But the difference is, do you really take action on that? So when I joined WeBank, I became what they call the forum chair. I ended up being the national chair. And that my journey went in because I was putting in the work. I was dedicated and I was committed to helping not only my business, but to help the community at large. And so I created those specific training programs, created the format and the process for a capability statement. It's still being used today. I see it everywhere. And I'm so happy when I see people using the same content and information that I created. And those are the things that happen and follow you throughout your journey. It's about giving. And when you give, you will get. So I did that journey with Webeck West. I've done similar processes. I won so many awards. Not that awards are important, but they show that your trajectory and they can show where you're coming from. I also won Supplier of the Year with NMSDC as a small business. I worked with the SBA, was part of SBA as well, and I was the ombudsman for the Obama administration under the under SBA. So there's so many things that I've done. And what it is being present, looking at where the value for your business is and where there's an opportunity. What organization do you need to be partnered with? Because not all organizations are made equal. And you want to make sure that organization has the same values as you and the values for growing your business. So my journey has been marked with different milestones that if I look back, they definitely change the trajectory and help me to get to this position that I am. Thinking about me coming into this country with $200 in my pocket, coming in as a student and an immigrant, and now director for supply chain for SOCALGas, the largest distribution company in America. Just doesn't happen overnight. It comes with a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, but more importantly, people who believe in you. I can say for a fact, I have a lot of people who believed in me, who spoke to me, who guided me, who mentored me, who sponsored me to help me to get to this point. So Robin, thank you for bringing that up and highlighting the fact that it's you cannot do it alone. You always need people. You need the community behind you. You need the support of everyone to get it done.
Mm-hmm. Yolanda, I missed the hand up there. I see your hand. It's your turn.
Thank you, Lily. I'm also an immigrant from London, England. I've been here now 15 years. And as an immigrant, I was shocked when I arrived in Los Angeles to the state of Black and brown children's education levels. So my question that I put in the chat that you've said something about is partnering around that pipeline. I'm an educator. So, the earlier we can get our children to be math and science literate, it's really going to be valuable for them to be able to apply for jobs later on in the SoCalGas arena and others. So my question to you is, I would like to have a meeting with you around how do we create those pipelines in Los Angeles, because I don't know if you saw Monday's Nations report card. Black children are the lowest performing children in math and reading in this country. So if we want to gear our children up to be able to become a Lily's or a Crystal or a Greg or a Robin in this world. I think education is critical to that. So partnerships with organizations as your own, pipeline models that help our children understand the importance and their families around mathematics and science in a 21st century is really important.
Absolutely, absolutely, Yolanda. And we do have a process and a platform for that. We do offer scholarships, we have internships. We just don't get enough applicants. So my question always is that why we don't have enough of our people applying or knowing the opportunities that are out there. And I think it's lack of knowledge and lack of opportunity. I was recently introduced to the Council of African American Parents. It's an organization that focuses solely on supporting African American students with tutoring, with opportunity. I also know Denise Peoples was on the phone, and she also has a nonprofit that focuses on STEM education. So let's partner. Let's have a conversation around where do we get information, how do we support our children, and what do they need for them to go to that next level. So I am super excited that actually that report came out, because then it gives us a sense of urgency. It gives us a sense that we are here now and present now as the leaders of our community. What can we do together to get that number to be better? And I know we have a lot of nonprofit organizations. Maybe this is a time where you have a call of action to all the nonprofits in the same field. And let's talk about education and supporting our children. But SOCALGas in particular, we do offer grants, we do offer scholarships. So it's about reaching out, and we have a process. Sometimes it takes a little bit long. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's pretty seamless and easy, but it's a process nonetheless that we need to make sure that we keep introducing nonprofits like yourself or Denise Peoples that on the call here to be able to get that money that we have. The company has committed $50 million. So we need to make sure we are positioned to get that money.
Thank you so much for that. And just to let you know, the Knowledge Shop, my organization, which I'm the executive director of, is now a lead player in California around this whole math agenda. So I work directly with California Department of Education to make sure that that new framework, which is about to arrive on the doorsteps of schools, addresses Black children in particular. So I have, like you, got here and started to advocate to ensure that our voice is heard. I'm also board president of the National Association of African American Parents and Youth. And don't know if you know that in Los Angeles, we have a Black Student Achievement Plan that has up to $483 million that was invested in it by LAUSD, and not one dime has reached the children. So there is a lot of work to do. And I think collaborations and partnerships with corporate sector individuals. I was an HR director of a British firm. I know the power of what that brings to the conversation. And I'm reading the chat as it's blowing up. Denise Peoples, whoever you are, we definitely need to be talking and partnering around this. And just so you know, this is personal for me. I have a daughter that's an astrophysicist and a mechanical aerospace engineer, and I was a math-phobic parent. So I turned that completely on its head and ensure that any child that comes across me understands the power of mathematics and what it means to them.
I am seriously crying as I write this, because I'm so passionate about it as well. It is my life's purpose to help children of color and to also help adult learners have a second chance for STEM, to engage in careers within the utilities, entry level, and all the way up, as Emma Maxey has been mentoring me, that there are levels of 3 and 4s and certifications that if they get those, if they can pass the math and pass those tests, they can work anywhere in the world. And I am hell-bent on seeing more inclusion and people of color in those positions. And I will do anything, Yolanda. Please, let's get together. Together, we're better.
That's it. So this is how we connect to each other. I knew Denise on the phone, and I saw Yolanda's question. I knew you guys had to connect. But
I'm so excited.
Yeah, and it's really about this community briefing. And thank you, Stephen and Greg and Crystal for doing this, because this is how we learn. This is how we get the information out. So this is the forum this is why you built the forum, to share and to do this. I was at the Black Women in Leadership C-suite event this weekend. This week, I think it was on Tuesday, and one of the things that struck me is just the abundance of money that's left on the table because we don't unable to access it. And when you look back and start peeling the onion, why are we not able to access all these dollars that are available? It's because we're not quite prepared. We don't have the documentation to help us get there. And the similar thing that's slowing us down. Let's look at what is required. SoCalGas, what do we require for you to do business with us? What do you require for you to be able to get that nonprofit money that we have? Let's start looking in details at that, because that is what's slowing us down. Sometimes we just have to anchor down and answer those questions, look at the documents that they're asking for, and prepare for that. And that's what we need to start understanding to be able to get that money.
We've had several guests come on and share similar information, that one is the challenge in finding the opportunities. And then the larger one seems to be, after you found the larger opportunity, being prepared. And a plug for what Crystal and Gilbert Buchanan, who has Gilbert been on the show? I'd say Gilbert, Crystal and Gilbert do a show on Fridays at 3:00. And one of Gilbert's specialties is helping companies to be contract ready, to be, he has this checklist to go through. How many is it? 23 like things, Crystal, something like that, 23 items. And in order to be ready, you have to have check marks in all 23. I think there's more than the 23, but there's 23 basics that you have to have all these checked, and any of them missing will preclude you from doing business with the government, with the utility, because the structure is very regimented. It has its pros and cons in doing so, but that's a stumbling block for a lot of people, just to be able to have everything, like, where's your tax return? Oh, you kidding me? Or where is your statement? What was the other one? This is statement of
capability statement.
Capability statement. That's it.
Yeah.
And people look like they've never heard it before, let alone have tackled it. And so that is that's a big issue. Same thing with jobs. On the I'm sure the utility. I would guess that getting a job with utility, especially if you're out of the field, they do drug testing. Mm-hmm. And people were showing up. I think we had somebody here from LAWA, from the airport, and they were providing jobs. And then a large percentage of people from the community were failing a drug test. And it's like, you've got to, there's tremendous opportunity, but just failing to meet certain criteria. So we applaud you and the gas company for providing an opportunity. We'll have to do what we can. And Crystal will get some information for Gilbert if we can. And she provides a lot of that helpful as well, to do that, because you have to be ready. So,
Greg, it actually starts at the youth stage. If you teach them at the youth stage that there are opportunities out there, which is why I teach kids how to be entrepreneurs. Gilbert came and talked to the kids about certification and capability capability statements. I got kids completing capability statements for their business where we can't even get their adults to complete theirs. But I'm counseling a little girl right now. I mean, she just blew it out the water, and she's 16 years old. as well as the math part, right? So it starts with the children, and this is why we're doing what we do. I do what I do because our next generation needs us to be there for them. It's too late for us, but for our next generation, that generation that's coming out of high school and going into college and should be getting those jobs. I was just saying the other day, Lily, that RBD has been in the space for the last 35 years, and SoCalGas and Sempra and Edison is one of our major sponsors. And I was saying, what happens when all of our contacts and referrals are gone, and nobody in your organizations look like you? What happens to us out here trying to go back and find sponsorships and build new relationships, and they don't care about us? So it is about us making sure our kids get through the pipeline with all of the resources that they need so that they can be competitive in a very biased competitive world.
Yeah, and it's so important to look at the pipeline, right? When you have I was able to have an opportunity to talk to a women organization, and they were all thinking about getting jobs at the corporate level, and they've not been successful. And it was simple things that we can resolve. So that pipeline is important. What do we need to resolve for you to be able to get to pass that drug test? What do you need to change to be able to pass what we call the very first process? You need to change something, and we need to start within ourselves to start changing. There's business opportunity, there's entrepreneurship, but it's not just you woke up one day and you're able to do business with SoCalGas. You have to have things in place, right? Gilbert does an excellent job of teaching becoming contract ready. You have to do your part. The other piece of it, as a community, what do we need to do? And Crystal, that touches my heart so much, is how do I work with the youth? They're the future. What information and messaging should they know so that they can be able to move forward to the next part? I'm part of Brotherhood Crusade, and we have a program for girls. And when you listen to them, you listen to their journey, and you listen to the obstacles or challenges that they face, but they were able to overcome because they have this community that supports them, that tells them it is possible. You are possible. And you can be able to overcome whatever your past is should not define your future. And we have to constantly talk to our youth to give us that new pipeline that we need. And I'm very passionate about the youth like you, Crystal. And so that is something that I keep trying to talk to people and have a conversation around it. And that's why I was a board member for the Boys and Girls Club, now part of the Brotherhood Crusade, and really making sure that pipeline is there.
Lily, I'd love to. We've extended the Biz Camp to Biz Institute to a full fall programming. So if we could get you, it's on a Saturday. You can just come in and talk to the kids for about the opportunities, because we're teaching these kids how to build businesses. But before they can get to building a real successful business, they have to work in corporate America. They have go to finish school, but work in corporate America so they can see how a successful business runs and all the components of all of the operational pieces, as opposed to just jumping off into business and you don't know it's more than just selling a hat, right? It's all of the components that make it a successful business. So love to do that.
Can I come too, Crystal?
You most definitely can.
Let me play with the kids.
All right. Anybody here that wants
I'm
to
down,
with my
girl.
children?
I really want to come see what you do in person, okay? And I'm a volunteer.
Okay, well, I'll make that happen. But Lily, that program at the Los Angeles Urban League, the construction program, my uncle actually implemented that program back in the 50s, and it was one of the largest programs the Urban League had at that time. And so it stopped. He worked with John Mack with that program, and so I helped him and his team, Mari, get it back in there about 3 or 4 years ago, about 5 years ago now. And that's a legacy of my uncle James T. Mitchell. That's the academy that is actually doing that. And that was as a result of the riots in Los Angeles, and the same conversation that we're having today is we can't find qualified black contract construction workers in order to put them in and help them build these buildings. And so 1950, and here we are in 2022, and they're still saying those conversations. We're still having those conversations. That's ridiculous. We have to change because it cannot continue to go on. We have found that we have many immigrants in this country, but how we find ourselves on the very, very bottom of the list of the ranking order, that's ridiculous. So my soapbox, but that's why this platform's here. We as a people have to come together. We have to make this change. And so this is, I love it. We're collaborating with the BBA. We collaborate. I do nothing without partners. And that's a reason, because I'm forcing us to work together. I don't want to hear that BS. We don't work together, because we do. And that's why we do. That's why I do what I do. And that's why I have partners in everything that I do, is because I want you to be there with me so I can be an example for what collaboration will do if you just open yourself up to do it.
Amazing. I know that we all are in our different spaces, but when we come together, that's the power. And I got chills when you talk about your uncle, because imagine that was 50 years ago and we haven't really moved a lot. It's incumbent upon us in every position you're in to reach out and pull one person up, reach out and bring another person in. Even if you have to get them to Urban League program, you have to get them to the Brotherhood Crusade, you have to get them to any other nonprofit organization that's out there so that they can learn. And they may not all go to follow the same journey, as you said, Crystal. Everybody has a different journey, but we need to offer them the path that they can walk through if they so wish to. And it's our job right now to be the next generation for the people who are coming behind us. And I'll leave you with just what I believe in right now is all the news that we're hearing, everything that's happening, the report on education. We need to have a sense of urgency. We have to
Thank you.
We have to act. We need to accelerate some of these conversations that we've had. We need to start seeing the collaboration, the coalition, the community that we need. And then we need to start transformation. And we need to transform it based on very different parameters, because it's not all the same. So depending on where you stand, depending on where you sit, start the transformation process. Look at us here on this call. What can we do collectively? I had one of the things that I used to do a lot is ask, what do you need? So whatever you need, if anybody has a need today, please put it on the chat. Maybe there's somebody who can help you with that need. You need a job for a relative. You need a business opportunity. You need a support in understanding how to create your capability statement. We'll put Buchanan's name on there. We need, just tell us what you need and don't be afraid. I think, Robin, if you're on the phone, you always said that to us. Whatever you need, I may not have it, but I probably know somebody who has it, or somebody who can help you. So let's put our need on the chat and let's all respond. Maybe we don't have it, but maybe we know somebody who can help you. And with that, that's back to you, Greg.
Lily, will you share your corporate contact information with us in the chat so that those of us can reach out to you?
Yes.
And it was a pleasure having you here today. And thank you so much for sharing this wonderful information. I will also get in touch with you and share that copy of that envelope I showed you before we started on the broadcast.
Yes.
And
I see already there's some information in the chat. I'm sure we'll end the recording, but I'll stay a little longer to see if there's anything I can do to respond to anyone.
Yep. And as a reminder, you guys can save the chat by the three little dots to the right of the smiley face. And Crystal, I'm going to turn it over to you. I do have a 12 noon client appointment, so I'm going to jet a little early. But leave it with you and Stephen and Robin. Glad you're here. Stephen, who do we have next week?
Many of you probably heard about the U.S. Bank Bank merger. Next, we're going to have Frank Robinson to talk about the merger as well as what is their continued commitment specifically to the African American business community, U.S. Bank, Union Bank, and their $500 million commitment to Black and brown businesses. Stay tuned next Thursday.
Cool.
That is awesome.
Thank you so much.
Stephen.
Lily,
I just wanted to share, Crystal, that I just won a grant, $150,000, Amity Foundation, and that grant, which is why I'm so glad I jumped on this, because I had like 3 Zooms and I said, you know what, let me do crystals today, and I'm so glad I did. That grant, I will be training families and their children from 0 to 5 in math. So when I say that I'm serious about this pipeline, I'm starting from women with children in the womb, talking to them about the power of math.
And that's the development of the whole child when you catch it that early. Come on.
Exactly. So those of you who have put your information in the chat, let's get together next week so we can really support each other. And hopefully Lily can join us to look at where, as non-profits, we can get support from SOCALGas to build on that pot of money that we've just won as an organization.
Awesome. I love it. Anything to do with the children. You guys got me.
Congratulations.
Over. I know when we do the financial part of the entrepreneur program, first kids' eyes are all glassed over, but by the end of the day, we got kids talking about contribution margins and our rate of return and debt ratios, and it just blows Gilbert away. It's like, wow, look at that 10-year-old telling you about his debt ratio and his ROI. That's amazing. And so that's wonderful. I want to thank you all. This has been a fantastic, Greg, show today. And just keep coming back, guys. Please share. This will be up once I edit it and put our intro into it. It will be on YouTube, and you can please share it off of Facebook. It's streaming right now. This is what we have to continue to do on a bigger scale. I'd like this whole platform to have 200-300 people every Thursday at 11 a.m. getting all of this great information, because Lily, a lot of people don't even know it, and that's surprising to me too. I know when I first even learned about the certification procurement, and that's how I met Gilbert and him and Sharon Evans, and they were sitting there talking about it, and they're talking about all this money, and I'm calculating, well, how many Black businesses are in the state of California, and they're telling me it's like 16. There's 16 people that are actually certified. It's like, what? And there's over 400,000 businesses? That makes no sense. And so when I asked the question, why not? Tax returns, not business ready, not contract ready, but things that are not hard to do if they know how to do that. And so we can make this change. In the chat, if you guys will pull up in the chat somewhere, RBD is getting ready to kick off their 2023 resource guide. I don't know if you can actually see it. We're getting ready to go into print. Yeah, there you go. So we're going in print. So we want to make sure you're in here. Also in the chat is a link to our mobile app. So go in there. You can list there for free. And then we just want everybody's business, and it's all about us going cooperative of work, sharing and supporting each other, because our communities can be better. We can have more money and more say-so in our political environments and our elections if we're doing all well. I cannot tell you how many clients I have when I help them with their financials, and at the end of the year, their financial net worth, their net income is much lower than what they would be doing if they were working for a company. We have to increase our resources. We can't help our children. We can't help our nonprofits. We can't help anybody because we barely helping ourselves.
Great.
So we have to change. And Lily, you are so correct. this is an urgency. This is no longer something that we can take next year. We'll get to it next year, the next generation. No, we cannot. And I'm going to leave it with this is if we were all to, and you guys have heard me say this, if each and every one of us were to leave tomorrow and go on to our glory, are you okay with leaving your children here by themselves without you? And it's just as basic as that. And if you say no, then you know we all have work to do. And it's not just Yolanda, it's not just Denise, it's not just Lily, it's not Sarah, it's not Stephen, it's every one of us that share the same black ethnicity, that have black children. Then this is the responsibility of all black people, not just 4 or 5 people that are working themselves into the ground to make a change for you. So with that, Lily, thank you so much. Look what you speared on there, girl.
Amen. Amen. Love it. Look at you, Lily. See what you started?
Oh, yes, ma'am. We have to work together. I am committed and I'm in it. The Robin said earlier, I've been committed in this space for so long. I just like want to see something else happen. I want to see a dramatic change.
You are a person of your word.
Yeah. Lily, this is Sarah from the Black Business Association. I had the pleasure of hearing you speak at the Women in C Street, and I just loved your journey coming here, staking it all, starting with 200 and just saying, I'm going for it. And you're a phenomenal woman, and I just love your passion. I just wanted to say thank you for coming here today and giving your wisdom for everybody.
Tell him, Sarah. Tell him, Sarah.
Lily is phenomenal, y'all. So listen to
that.
They were honoring Auntie Maxine, and she says, do what she says and listen to her. But listen to Lily too.
Yeah, that's right.
I think all us black women on here and our men, we all have something to say. We just have to keep getting that message out there. But yes, anytime.
Thank you, Sarah. That makes me so teary-eyed. Thank you.
President of the BBA, y'all.
Thank you. This is Robin. One thing I want to say, and the reason why I asked Lily to talk about her journey is when I met her, she was doing a presentation and she literally stood there and froze. And I was sitting at the dais as the adjudicator, and she stood there, and she froze. And I said under my breath, look here. You know this information. Take a deep breath and start bowling strikes. And she's been doing it ever since.
Yes, she has.
But I'm saying that to say we all have those moments where we're not 100%. But as I say on my tagline, confidence comes from being, doing the best that you can where you are. Amen. And 80% equals 100% because we all have a 20% pile to work on.
Come on.
We are all uncomfortable, and that's okay. That's the best place to be, is to be uncomfortable, because you're going to learn something. Lily, you make me so proud as my little mentee, and just, with the community is proud of you.
Thank you.
Amen, Robin. Well put.
Thank you. We all start somewhere, right? Somebody has to kick us a little bit. Sometimes we don't want to. Emma did the same thing for me. Denise, I can keep going. Pat, and all of you, Bianca, we were in the trenches for so long together, trying to figure it out. And now I'm on this other side. My commitment is to learn and to share. Learn and to share.
Lily, do you remember when we used to carpool to save on gas money when we first started our business? but you're very inspiring to all of us who have seen your journey, and it keeps us going because, seeing one of us climb up the ladder and succeed gives us all hope, and it keeps us going. So thank you for being that bright light.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well put, Bianca.
Awesome. Please, Lily, come back and visit us, and we will welcome you with open arms. Everyone else and the new faces I see today. Thomasina, thank you. Linda.
You're welcome.
So happy you guys are here. Lee, please check out as well. I do a podcast on Friday, The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We're kicking off a series, and this one is near and dear to a lot of our entrepreneurial hearts. we're kicking off a balancing life, love, business, and relationships series for the next month. And so we're going to be talking to single entrepreneurs that have difficulty taking that focused into their business and applying it to relationships. And then we're going to venture over to some of our married business partners, and they're going to share their tips on how they've been successful. Bianca has agreed to sit down with and be on the show and talk with her and her husband. Vivian and Greg Bowers, they're going to come over and talk. And then I have a number of other women. I'm looking for some guys that will just share, because not only do we have to be successful in our business lives, we need to be successful in our personal lives. We have to fit our Black people all the way around holistically. Every aspect of us has to be happy and centered and balanced. And so we felt that was important. So that is going to be, we're at the Business Zone with Crystal Gilbert, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook every Friday at 3:00. So if you guys can jump on over, and if you know anybody that's always griping about their situation as a single person or a married person or whatever that is, when it pertains to business, send them on over. So thank you guys, Lily. Awesome. I'm so happy.
Thank
that
you very much.
I've seen you at events, but I've never spoken to you. Thank you, Emma, as usual. Emma, you're looking so rested that you're sitting at home.
He looks gorgeous.
You know what? I'm looking forward to getting out. I'm working with Denise, and Denise has amazing programming. Yolanda, I would love to work with you. Lily, I love you.
I love you
so
too.
much.
Let's get together, Crystal.
Okay.
Let's have a
We will.
session. I am happy to come back anytime for details. Like if somebody, we can have a fireside chat, and anybody can bring
I love that.
That'd be
they
great.
can bring their
Nice.
personal situation, and we can walk through it and resolve it. I think that can be a powerful session.
Oh well, let's talk about that. We can put something on the calendar for that. Stephen left, but we can do that in 2023. I would love that.
Yeah.
That would be absolutely awesome. All righty, guys. I have a client at 12:30. I need to grab something to eat.
Pat.
But thank you, guys.
Bye,
It
guys.
has been
Thank you.
awesome.
Everyone, this
Much
was
love,
awesome.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Great afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Bye.
Here, Crystal,
Bye.
I will be
Bye,
calling
Emma.
you,
Bye,
Crystal. I
Crystal.
didn't forget. See you later, Pat.
Um,